Thank you so much for joining us, Joao Rui Ferreira. It's an honor to have you here. And all the day we've been discussing economic security strategy. And of course, in the end, all the member states and, like Portugal, you have a big say on how to execute on this economic security strategy. So, but not only are you a minister, you are also like a rock star in our world, right? You are a former CEO of a business that was producing corks. So you know also the business reality and how that functions. So I think you are very well positioned to be a sparring partner on how to execute on this strategy. So looking at our study, it makes very clear that we are behind on many of these critical technologies, and that the critical technology strategy right now of the Commission coming out of trade is very much focused on the trade restrictive measures, and not so much at how we become more competitive. And we heard right before this session that all the businesses said, what we really need to do is to become more competitive, we need more investment, and we need to untangle the spaghetti bowl of all these regulations, endless amount of regulations that we have in Europe. So do you think that we are focusing enough on these, how can you say, more incentive structures or more internal market policies when we look at economic security strategy? Welcome, and the word is yours.
Hello, Cecilia. Thank you very much. And my first words is really to greet and to everyone in the room and everyone online, and to thank you for the invitation. Your presentation was with a more sympathy than what I deserve, but I will try to make it positive as well. Well, I think we are in Europe. It's clear for everyone that we are in a moment of big decisions, of critical decisions. We have to really to be aware of the surrounding we have, both in the European ecosystem, but mostly in the global competitiveness, and economic security has to be at the heart of the EU policy. We support the view that there is room to streamline regulation, for more investment in critical technologies as well in large-scale infrastructures, for example, increasing the geopolitical tensions and even the global economic integration. But even with more pressing, we believe that the challenge that we approach in this economic security strategy and the subsequent packages need really to be addressed. There is a sensitive line, and there is always a sensitive position where we need to balance and combine the European Union's matrix between promotion of competitiveness, the protection from risks, and in the third, as a third pillar, and this was identified both in your document as in the European strategy, in the partnerships we need to establish with other geographies, other countries, other geopolitical parties of the world. We cannot have any doubt on this, and as you mentioned, my background comes from private sector, mostly from industry, and this need to be the basis for all this. We need to robust the industrial base, take advantage of the opportunities that arise from new technological developments, contribute to the success of these twin transitions, both digital and ecological, and this will come in the end of the day the base for the success of the economic security of Europe. Research and innovation is also a key, and the investment in this strategy, in this pillar, is absolutely crucial. EU needs to be a front runner on certain technologies. and offers the right conditions to support this transfer mostly to the market, and as well to scale up some of our SMEs to give dimension to these SMEs to be more global, to be in a more global scale with a different scale that can promote both investment, retain talent, and be competitive in a global scale. So I just started this role a few weeks ago, and of course the vision from the private sector, it was always that there is a nightmare of regulation. There is a very vast and complex, you said, a spaghetti of regulation, and we need to be more efficient, of course, and we need to be more clear so that these bottlenecks, this spaghetti, as you said, can be help and mostly a support that we can implement these reforms and transform really our industry.
Thank you so much. So, as you said, you're only quite new in this role, and I think it's very valuable to actually have this. I admire this exchange between private sector and public sector, and maybe this is really what some of the other countries are also missing. So, looking at you going through this evaluation of risk, so the Commission asked all the member states, please evaluate the risks. If you look at the risk, what would be your two main risks, and what would be your two main opportunities that you think that Portugal can come out of this assessment with?
Well, starting by the risks is really to not be blocked and not be constrained by the regulation as a bottleneck or a limitation for promoting and developing all the new technologies in the moving to the industrial platforms and moving to the national industries wherever they can be national or European. There is also a risk, and this is not a specific risk from Portugal, but let's say a more global risk that we can be, and according to some studies, a bit behind other blocks in the world regarding these kind of technologies or these critical technologies. I think there are a push, and the Commission is trying to push hard for that national member states as well as the private sector moves forward in this movement. But let's say I see more opportunities than risks, to be honest, because we have in thinking about Portugal a very strong ecosystem in the, let's say, the scientific or universital or technological world. And what we need really to do is to do all the transition and all the let's say to pass this knowledge, to pass these technologies, to pass these awareness to SMEs, to companies, to work in a global network, engaging all these industries to work together. And I think we have good opportunities on that, not only because we are still implementing the Portugal's AI 2030 strategy, as well as we have now an opportunity with a national reform plan to help all this ecosystem with the digital innovation hubs, with the test beds national network, with the free zones for technology. And so with all these tools, I think we have here a lot of opportunities. Of course, the timelines to answer to all these commitments, to the short period that we have ahead of us to implement, we can see it as a risk, but as well as an opportunity, because really we need to put it in the ground, and we need let's say this framework to be implemented, as well as we have in Portugal an opportunity to combine whether we have some industrial leaders that clearly are on the top and state of the art in some of these technologies, to help and to work in the strong network with small and medium-sized companies to make it as a global ecosystem. We also have, as our ecosystem, a group of technological centers that are really in the ground close to the industrial sectors, to be part and to complement small market failures we can have and help these companies to spread this technology, many times to have the right infrastructure to help and to promote it. And in the end of the day as well, we need to be very, very careful and attentive to the vast talent we have coming out from our universities, from our scientific and technological ecosystem, and to retain this talent in Portugal, to be part of as well as the global framework, and to really work and to see the world globally.
Thank you so much. So I think we are seeing, this is a question that you didn't prepare, so I'm going to try to just, I mean, we saw that Spain, under the investment of the Recovery and Resilience Fund, they invested heavily in digital, right? And we've seen like Silicon Malaga, we have seen Spain going from the 17th place to the 6th place in the DESI index. Will we have like an Iberia, also now due to the raw material? I mean, you guys have lithium, and if we look in Iberia, you have, you know, a very close contact to South America. Will we see like a new rise of digital raw materials, digital skills, digital developments in kind of Portugal, Spain? Will this be like will you be the new digital hub in Europe, you think?
Well, that's a big question. More than what it seems, and sometimes we see that Portugal and Spain have the oldest borders in the world, and probably many parts of the world see ourselves as big competitors, but we are seeing more and more cooperation. We have a lot of opportunities to work together. There are a lot of projects running together, not only as in the European framework of projects, but also promoted by the private sector in the both sides of the borders. I see it. We have huge opportunities, not only in the raw materials, as you said, in minerals, whether we are talking about lithium, but there will be a lot of new opportunities as well in these critical raw materials. And we need, and we are working on that, and these are programs, and the cooperation between the two governments is quite clear. Our Ministry of Economy has been recently in Madrid, meeting with our Spanish also members of the government in the economic sector, and there are discussions. We are working side by side, and we see more opportunities on this to promote, not to have not as with an objective to be a special part of Europe or a differentiated part of the world by any opportunistic reason, but really because we have both talent, both the right infrastructure today, working hard on this, and we can be clearly, and we want to be more and more a good example to Europe, to the world, and we see a lot of opportunities here. We are just implementing now the government program. We are already with big plans and measures to be concrete, not only to be a roadmap of holistic objectives, but putting on the ground tools that can help not only startups in the technological sector, but also consolidating sectors to do this transition and to work side by side and to be even more efficient. The cooperation between the two countries is more and more going in the right direction.
So a last question for me. We know that around 6% of the world's capital, venture capital in AI goes to Europe. 6%, very, very small amount. And our report shows that on, for example, on AI, we are far, 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 far behind. So one of the reasons that we see is this spaghetti bowl, but it's also that we see that countries are still not working as a team, right? So somehow the council if we say, the European Council is not coming together with the tools that they have. So Portugal will address with their tax incentives, Germany will do their thing, Denmark will do their thing. They will buy procurement processes in countries. Do you see an opportunity in this new commission, this new world, that the council is moving closer and say we are a team? We are going to address some of these challenges of lack of capital, lack of implementation, fragmentation, too many borders, too many institutions. We're going to sit down as a team and look at the challenge as a European challenge and not as a national challenge. Do you think that there is like a place in history where we are so much under pressure that we need to act as one Europe instead of acting as 27?
Well, let's take this in different parts. Having 6% of this capital in Europe means also an opportunity. It means that we have 94% to work on and to attract to Europe. So we always need to see the opportunities where we have M&As. I've been present in the last competitiveness council that was in May 2024. It was a long 2 days meeting and journey, and as always, more than what it happens in the let's say more institutional presence in the room or in the official meetings. Then we had bilateral meetings, we had talks, and the feeling is that everyone agrees that without knowing at that time the result of the elections of these last European elections, um, we need tempo. It's time to act. It's really time to look, to have a strong union, to have a strong commitment, to work side by side, to have a common role. And in the end of the day, I would say that more than the small details that can separate different countries, there is a common objective to make Europe the motor to hold this transition, to take the leadership in many of these critical moments we have. And everyone agrees that we need to find financial options to the industrial policy, to work the creation of an European fund to strengthen the position of capacities, and to have a strategical position in the industrial integration in all regions, independent of where we are. That focus and emphasizes in SMEs, because these are also a large part of the European industrial tradition and the reality, but seeing also large companies as a motor, the ones that will drive also this transition in all the supply chain, creating stronger brands closer to consumers. So I see a big opportunity, and now knowing and understanding the results of the last elections, I think this journey, this pathway will not be questioned, and hopefully we can, as soon as possible, come together as soon as possible, come to the table and make all this the discussion real, put it in action, have a real action plan to put on the ground the tools and the framework that companies need to implement this in all these efficient strategies to make it real.
Listen, thank you so much for being a politician that sees opportunities and is ready to fight.
And I'm sorry for to come so late.
No problem. It's always you were worth waiting for. So a big thank you to State Secretary of Economy of Portugal, João Rui Ferreira, and for your visionary leadership.
And I wish you
one European digital powerhouse.
I wish you all a great conference, and hopefully not only the panels will be, of course, by the level of the panelists, very interesting, but I hope you can interact, know each other, and in the end of the day have some ideas and be creative, and be with creative minds we get good ideas, and we need really to act.
Thank you so much. A big hand. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cecilia.
And with that, for everybody who's online, thank you so much. I heard that you were sticking around, waiting to the end of all this. I just want to say like 3 things. I'm not going to make a long speech because we don't want to go out and drink and talk and enjoy, but I think there is opportunity. There is an urgency now, and we've been saying that for a long time. But honestly, I think it's at the tipping point. So I think there is an urgency. There is a tendency of old habits die hard. So let's hope that the Commission does not already start to think, let's just do what we can do and that we know how to do, but actually how can we solve the problems? And let us also, in the end, basically take the responsibility as industry to make sure that we give advice that is not, we don't like, but this is the how. And that we keep our executives also in the companies engaged in this dialogue. We've seen too long for that European companies sometimes struggles to bring CEOs to the table to actually talk. Digital Europe is ready to facilitate that. I really think we need to be visible, we need to be concrete, and with that, I would say let's be a digital powerhouse in 2030, and thank you for coming here today, everyone. Thank you.